What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Spread the Positive podcast. I'm your host, Trent Denson. As always, man, we got a special show for y'all today. I'm sitting down with my friend Brian Sweatt.
Like you do when you get
I
hot.
know I should have done that before we started.
Everyone's
Brian,
always afraid to say sweat. They want to say sweet, something nice. Like it's sweat. It's all good.
All right, cool. So Brian Sweatt, like when you get hot, with Mechanics on a Mission, man. The work y'all are doing super awesome. We got connected through. I think we just established maybe Matt Milliken with City Auto, and then we did a follow up with the guys from Refined Life podcast, and actually Tom Golly, the guy that owns the studio. So,
in fact, we're right now considering being able to help somebody that Tom knows, with a vehicle, and so it's just we get requests from all over.
That's so
different
crazy.
places. It's really been a unique experience, and to see how God has just caused it to kind of explode.
I love that.
It's been really, really special.
That's amazing. So we're going to get into all that. I always like to take it back a little bit and hear a little of your backstory. We were talking a little off mic about some of the stuff that led to what you're doing now, but take us back. What led to the greatness that is Brian Sweatt of today?
Well, I'm not sure if there's any greatness there.
I know there is.
The greatness is the amazing people that we have around us, and those who have sown into our lives. In 2010, May, people probably remember and of course, if you were here, you definitely remember the devastating flood that happened on May 1st of 2010. If you remember, one of the iconic images was the building from Lighthouse Christian School floating down the interstate.
Oh my gosh.
I was the head of school at Lighthouse during that time. It was definitely a trying time, and it was pretty interesting how God kind of coordinated some things. For 40 straight months, folks at Lighthouse had gone down to Hurricane Katrina relief.
Wow.
So when it came to handling flooding, we learned how to do it. Right. We had no idea we were going to actually have to use it one day, for ourselves and our own well-being. But we learned how to muck out houses and what to do in a flood situation. So God gave us that unique training time. And of course, it never floods in Nashville. So why would we ever have to use our flood training? But many people did have to.
Yeah, that was a wild time.
Yeah, it was really, really intense.
Yeah.
It was exhausting.
Yeah.
But yet what was considered a tragedy, because so many people rallied around together. Of course, the rest of the story, as Paul Harvey would say, would be that Extreme Makeover in ABC came, and our wonderful community, Hardaway Construction, LP Building Solutions, GS&F, so many people rallied together, Lee Company, Wolf and Travis. I can go down the list. There's like 250 companies rallied together to build us a preschool.
Wow.
And they built that preschool in 1 week, 7,900 square feet or so. And it was absolutely amazing. It was one of those things that prior to me being the head of school at Lighthouse, the prior administration had dug out a hole to build a gym. Well, for whatever reason, they were never able to finish. So it became look like this big giant rock quarry. It looked like a place that you would put, prisoners to go break up rock and stuff like that work. Wow. And it was an eyesore of campus. But God kind of preserved that spot, because the preschool, which was around the corner from our location of the middle school, high school, and elementary, fit perfectly there, pushed like every setback. But the city worked really hard with it, and it kind of sat right in there for us, for the kids we had. Man. And so it's just been one of those really unique things when you have been given much by so many people in your community, then it's just natural for you to say, okay, Lord, you've blessed me. It's going to be a natural inclination for us to go say, how can we pay it forward? How can we bless people back?
Right.
So fast forward to COVID.
Okay.
Had a wonderful 10-year celebration of recovery from the flood. Invited a ton of people, 40 years of Lighthouse Christian School at Trevecca.
Wow.
Huge event, dinner for about 650 people at the Boone Center at Trevecca. And almost immediately after that event, COVID hit and shut the world down. So we barely snuck it in there, and then the world shut down.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and of course, education.
But 10 years from the flood. Wow.
10 years from the flood.
Wow, that's crazy to think about. Wow. Yeah. Amazing.
It was a special night to be able to honor so many people in our community who helped us recover, because Lighthouse at times is the most diverse private school in America. Wow. And has a little bit different mission than some private schools, in that it includes a lot of kids who often are marginalized or get overlooked.
That's amazing.
So it's a pretty special place. And there was no possible way that Lighthouse on its own could have recovered by itself.
Man.
but God sent the people in ABC and Extreme Makeover for us to do that. So we
Dang, one of the
celebrated
most
them.
diverse in the country.
Yeah,
Wow, that's
that we've
incredible. I
won
didn't know
awards for
that.
that. It's really kind of
Wow.
right in Nashville,
Yeah,
of all things here in the South, because
yeah.
people often don't realize that there's a lot of diverse, beautiful
That's
ministries all throughout
man, I love that.
this
That's
nation.
incredible.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So have you always been in education or what's your background?
Yeah, my background's education. I
Okay.
started in Macon, Georgia.
Okay.
Was a football coach, athletic
Nice.
director, and science teacher.
Okay.
So,
Man, you do both.
yeah,
Okay.
I did both. Well,
Okay. That's impressive.
my dad told me, he gave us a good advice. Said, listen, and he was a vice president of the school for a long time. He said, listen, history teachers, PE teachers, very valuable, but there's a lot of them.
Yeah, yeah.
Get English, math, or science, you always have a job.
Facts. That's
So
some
I
good
did
advice.
science.
That's some good advice.
Yeah, I love science. I love to teach. I mean, that's what coaching
You
is.
got
It's
that
just
teacher vibe.
teaching a sport.
You got a teacher vibe for
Yeah,
sure. I love it.
I took very seriously my teaching beyond just then the coaching and then being athletic director.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's awesome.
yeah, so spent 9 years in Georgia, and then finished my master's degree at 30, and got the opportunity to take over Lighthouse, which I don't know who thinks that's a good idea, to give a 30-year-old the keys to the kingdom, right,
Hey,
of a
man,
school.
you're clearly in the right place, right time.
Yeah, really
And
was.
led, man.
And
Yeah.
my goal was at 40 years old being able to become head of a school, and had the opportunity at 30. So I guess I was
Wow.
foolish enough to say, okay, let's do
do
it.
it. Yeah,
Yeah. And it was an amazing experience. Like I
Yeah.
said, a great school, impacted so many kids. The
Dope.
relationships I took away from the 17 years at Lighthouse with the graduates and the families are super special. Staying in
Dang.
touch with so many of them. Some are super successful and just doing the right things, following the Lord with their lives. It's really fulfilling to see them,
Dude,
you
that gave
know,
me
doing
chills, man.
yeah,
That's what it's all about, man.
pretty amazing.
That's what we talk about on this podcast is bringing light to what's going right, man. You're a great example of that. I knew that's amazing. Congratulations and thank you for the work that you've done. I mean, that's what else are we here for if you really
Yeah.
think about
And
it?
it's
Yeah.
to pour in the lives of others,
That's it, man.
to love people, and for us as Christians to show them the love of Jesus,
That's right.
and to show them Christ. So many
That's
times
right.
it's easy to be critical and complain. Also, when I really feel like we need to be out showing the love of Jesus to people in a tangible way.
That's man. That's so well said. I love it. So the reunion, we sneak
Yep.
it in right before COVID. All of that goes down. Everybody remembers those fun days. So that's where Mechanics on a Mission was born.
Not quite yet.
Okay,
So
okay,
COVID changed the face of
okay.
education, and
Yes,
so
for
it's just
sure.
very, very different. And at that point, we finished the school year really strong. We gave the option of people who could come in person, and then we also live streamed all the classes. So whatever
Nice.
you were comfortable
Man,
with,
y'all are
whatever
quick
you
with
wanted to
that.
do,
That's impressive.
you could do. Stay home and learn online, or you could come in person. And glad we had the freedom to be able to do that. A lot of people didn't, but we were able to do that as a smaller school. And we got the school year started the next year, and then in September, Labor Day, we just knew that God had something. Me and my wife knew that God had something different for us.
Okay.
And so we wanted to get the school year started. We had a lot of experience with COVID at that point. Didn't want to leave Lighthouse in a situation that would put them in any type of risk. So got the school year started, and then we
Okay.
resigned.
Okay.
Out of that, we had some friends who approached us and said, "Hey, would you consider starting a church and a ministry with us?"
Oh,
And it's like, I'm not really a pastor. That's not really what I do. Man, it sounds like a great idea, but I don't think I'm the right guy. So we turned them down. And a couple weeks later, they actually had a trip planned to go out to San Diego with many people who know Bob Goff, the inspirational author and speaker.
yeah.
Well, he is our partner in this, his mentor. I mean, like a
Wow.
direct mentor. So they had a weekend planned with them.
Dang.
And they can't, yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's a big
Bob
deal.
Goff, other than the Bible,
Yeah,
love does,
yeah.
love does, and Bob Goff is really impactful.
Right there, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it just like changed my life. The way
Man.
when you read that. I mean, the Bible obviously started that, and then read that and really see going out and serving people and loving. Actually, if you love people, you go do stuff for them.
Mm.
You show them in a tangible way, not just slap you on the back and say, "Hey,
Yeah.
I love you," but going and doing something that goes with it. And if we wait till we're perfect, we'll never get started. So we just get started now. Get started today. Go out and start serving people. Go
Man,
make a
that's
difference.
beautiful.
It's so rewarding. I mean,
Yeah.
I say all the time that I get so much more out of serving other people than you could ever even imagine.
Right.
When I was a kid and Christmas came around, people say it's better to give than receive. I say they're crazy. I just want my Christmas
Yeah,
gifts. But it really is true.
you're
When you get
100%.
older and wiser and understand it, it really
Yep.
is true. So they go see Bob Goff, come back, they reframe it. They reframe it more into a small group
Okay.
with this charity nonprofit where we go find needs in Middle Tennessee and meet them. Right up my alley. Perfect. I'm all over that. Yeah, that's perfect.
Thank you.
Let's
It's
do
so
it. So they
simple.
met back with me and my wife, and they reframed it for us, and I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, we're in. And I get in the car with my wife. She goes, "What did you just do?" I'm like, "Oh, maybe I should have talked to you about this." I got really excited. But anyways,
What did you just do?
yeah, she's like,
Classic last words.
"Were you gonna ask me?" We've been married for a long time. It's
Yeah.
like, "Were you gonna ask me?" It's like, I got so excited about this possibility to go serve.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So we
Yeah,
would
little
maneuver through that.
little regroup. Okay,
Yeah.
that's understandable.
But she was very gracious,
Right.
and we started that, a small
Man.
group meeting out in a little converted milk barn, the coolest place to ever meet for a small
Nice.
group,
Cool.
out in College Grove
Okay.
at Jamie and Carly No's place, the ones who helped us, our co-founders and all of this. And it was wonderful. We started finding needs and meeting them.
What were
And
some of those first ones? That just
man,
makes like that's so simple, and I think that's something that's so lost in this world of just like everybody so distracted, everybody so mad about everything. See a need, address a need, like fix a need.
yeah,
Like we can do that. We haven't as a society, as a community, we have not lost that ability.
amen.
I thank you for that. Like that's so simple the way you said it, and it's beautiful. And I think that's something that needs to be screamed from the rooftops. Like we can still address what seem to be insurmountable
Yeah.
problems. So sorry, what were some of those
No,
first ones, if you don't mind?
I think what you just articulated it so well,
Yeah.
and it's part of it just getting our head up and not just looking at our own problems. Because
Yes,
I got
man.
problems just like everybody else. I got
Sure.
things that are going on in life that I need to handle. But when we look internally, we never have our head up.
Hmm.
We get our head up. All of a sudden, God starts placing all sorts of things.
That's right.
It was in the middle of COVID when we
Okay.
started, and
Quite a few
obviously
needs. Quite a few
tons of
needs. Yeah.
needs. So, but one that jumps out for me that kind of surprised me was the need for counseling, Christian counseling
Yes,
for
man.
people, because people were isolated. So many of these things. In fact, that was probably initially where we did the most payments towards, was just counseling for people because
Wow.
they were struggling being isolated and not being able to be out in public, especially those who are introverted, who
Sure.
people is what breeds now. Introverts were having the time of their life.
Yeah.
Extroverts, we're we're
Yeah.
we're going, what's going on? I'm an
Yeah.
extrovert, as you can tell.
Yes.
And but my wife, who's introvert, is going, this is great.
Yeah, my
Bring me another
girlfriend
glass
loved
of wine and a book. I am loving
I'd like to
life.
go anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So true.
but it really impacted a lot of people.
Yeah, man.
And then, as you're in the studio and entertainment and music and all that type of stuff.
Mhm.
A lot of musicians, their livelihood was cut
Oh,
off,
yeah.
and many of them, had savings and had money, and as we got going in this, realized a lot of them had spent all their reserves and with no ability to go out and do the thing that they do. And so there were some very interesting requests that we got from people that you would never think would
Yeah.
have a need. Certainly wouldn't
100%.
wouldn't
Yeah.
ever say who that was, just because for their sake. But we helped folks like that. But there
Wow.
were needs just all over the place. But the counseling, those in industries that got cut off,
Yeah.
restaurant industry is
Yep.
another one that was hit hard, and being able to help some of those just as God led them to our paths and
That's
give them
amazing.
some hope and encouragement. We really want to be a ministry of hope
Yeah.
and encouragement. Probably some of the other things that happen is I was I was in Christian education for 25 years.
Wow.
I never once had to deal with a suicide or suicide attempt.
Wow.
When we started this, yeah, and that's just the grace of God.
Yeah,
I
for
mean, it's the
sure.
grace of God. But when we started OC, our church ministries, we call it
Okay.
OC for short. We had to deal with 6 in like a period of 6 months, and 5 of them were successful.
Oh my gosh.
Devastating. I mean, there's nothing worse in this world than losing a child
Oh my
to
gosh. Yeah.
to suicide, that I could ever
Mm-mm.
think of, and that's heavy.
Yeah.
Those people need hope. They don't need just encouragement. They need hope because they're in the darkest days of their lives. So having to go in and walk with people during those things was really hard. I mean, it's hard for us, but can you only imagine what they
No,
were going through?
I can't.
I can't either. And trying to help give them hope. And if that was what we could only do, it'd be really heavy. And I could see why people sometimes say, I can't do this. I have to walk away. but we want to be a ministry also of encouragement,
Sure.
which takes leaders of nonprofits, charities, ministries, pastors, executive directors who sometimes are just behind the scenes, feeding people,
Yeah.
taking care of things, and no one ever sees them, no one ever acknowledges them. We like to go by and just drop off a gift card that says, "Hey, take your husband or take your wife out to dinner
Yeah.
and go enjoy a night. Here's a hotel stay. Get away for a couple days,
Nice.
refresh." And it's those encouragement gifts
Man.
too that make it really special. So we have to walk through the really hard times. But for me and my person, if I do that all the time without being able to just go encourage a few people, just bringing hope, I don't think I would last very long
Yeah.
because it's so heavy and so hard.
Phew. Yeah,
So
no joke. So that, man, that's a lot. That's beautiful. I mean, thank you again. Just thank you for the, and just I think that again, that's beautiful. Just how a few people can come together, pool some resources and really make some change. Like that again, that's what this whole thing is all about. That's what Spread the Positive was birthed from, is just, a need for bringing light to stuff that's actually working,
yeah,
because there's a lot of that. There's a lot of people doing the work to make these, impactful changes, to lift people up, to give people hope. Hope deferred, right? Hope
amen.
deferred
Makes
makes
the
it,
heart sick.
man.
Yeah,
So I mean, that's the moral of the story. Like being, and that's all God asked us to do. If you really break it down, that's all we're
amen.
really here to do, is to lift up our fellow man and love him. So, and show his love. So that's amazing. Let's keep it going. So we're doing some of these initial COVID servings and all that. What's next?
And I know this is probably understood, but I think I just want to state it.
Yeah.
I just get to be the face
Yeah,
out
man.
here.
Nah.
There are so many people that
Sure.
make this work.
I,
I just get to be
I
the
was
one to
gonna
something.
ask. I mean,
Yeah.
do y'all have like a little?
So we
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
ultimately we did become a church,
Okay.
and I am a
Okay.
pastor, the world's most reluctant pastor. Not what I wanted to do.
That's a great
But
title.
as we serve people,
Yeah.
they're going like, "Do you meet?" And we're like, "Yeah, but we really don't want you to come. We're not designed for that." I mean,
Just
and then
being real with
yeah, and
you.
God kind of stopped us and go, "What are you doing? I am
Yeah.
sending people who aren't going to go walk into a normal church,
Exactly.
just aren't."
Yeah.
And and that's not everybody. We have a great group of people who would go to a normal church, that kind of stuff. But a few of the ones that were coming, and I am sending you, and you're turning them away. So ultimately, we started a small church. We're still a small group of people,
Sure.
but we're growing in those that are understanding what we're doing and joining with us,
Love it.
because we don't want to. One reason we didn't want to be a church is because we wanted to work with other churches.
There you go.
We love to work. We work with the Experience Church
Nice.
right here
Yeah.
in
Shout out to the
Murfreesboro,
Experience. Incredible.
Zeal Church out off Charlotte Avenue
Nice.
downtown, Lakeshore Christian in Antioch, the Cross Point.
There you go.
So a lot of different ones. But sometimes, churches can be funny. If another church, I'm like, listen,
We're
uh,
not doing all that.
we're not doing all that. We're not even trying to really grow a church. If God brings people,
Thank you,
we're
man.
gonna have them come.
Amen.
But we want to spend our time out in the community, taking the gospel to the streets,
Love
taking
that.
it out and about. So yeah, so God kind of shifted us a little bit. So we now are a church with our 501c3 nonprofit. Well, during so we get back to the Mechanics on a Mission. During to uh, uh, our boys, both Jamie and Carly's son and my son, were going to Lighthouse Christian School at the time.
Okay.
And they had a friend who had this old little beat up truck who had been really sick, and he had gotten run off the road, and only had liability insurance. So there was no ability to fix this truck. So they approached us and said, "Hey, have a need. Could we get a truck for our friend, or a vehicle for our
Yeah.
friend?" So we said, "Man, that's a great idea." I, as the head of school, his mom had worked for me. I knew the whole situation. It was
Yeah.
definitely a
Yeah. Yeah.
need. There was
Yeah.
no question.
Yeah.
And our boys saw the need and they brought it to us. So we actually
Nice,
went out,
man.
bought a vehicle,
Okay.
fixed it up, and gave them the keys.
Wow.
We sat back in a vehicle way off to the side, never got out, never even let people know we were there, and watched our boys give a key to their friend. And you talk,
Sorry,
yeah,
excuse me.
yeah. You talk about tears.
No,
You
I'm
talk
about to
about
cry,
parents
man.
going, "Man, this is when your 17-year-old sons are doing something beyond themselves.
Man,
That's so
preach.
impactful." That was literally the first car we ever gave away,
Man.
and to see that where it led to, and so then the tornadoes hit up in Kentucky.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Jamie grew up in Kentucky, so he said, "Hey, can we help over there? I know there's some car needs." So we actually sent money to buy 2 cars.
Man.
Had some dealers up there that we knew, people we trusted. And so he said, "Hey, give us 2 good cars that we can give away. We'll send you the money." didn't get to go
For
there
sure.
and do the giveaway. They took care of it all, but
Your
that
son,
was
the sons again?
no, this was
Oh,
just people that we knew
oh, I got you.
from the tornado
Okay,
that
I got
Jamie
you.
knew
I
and
got you.
connected us together. So we did car 2 and 3 there.
Man,
Well, then we again, we lift our heads up and we realize we have the manager of Tire World in Laverne. We have the owner of CBA, Christian Brothers Automotive on Memorial,
that's a good one.
and we have the chief operating partners and general managers of Nelson Mazda all closely connected to us.
Let's go.
And Jamie came to me and said, "Well, have we thought about just giving out cars all the time?" And Mechanics on a Mission was born.
Dang, that's beautiful.
And we brought all these folks together. We have, like I said, our church at any given Sunday maybe has 30 people. Mechanics on a Mission has probably 100 people
Yeah,
working with it to make it work.
that's
And
beautiful.
so, we don't focus necessarily on just what we're doing on Sunday morning. We focus on what can we do out in the community? How can we take the gospel to people who may never walk inside the doors of the church?
Yeah,
We meet, it's kind of interesting. We meet at Rosso Constructors.
nice.
People say, why don't you have your own building? Well, if we built a building, now we take $5 million or whatever it is
Sure.
and have to sink it into a building, we can't give that money away.
There you go.
And so we try to keep our overhead as low as possible.
Love that.
Rosso is so gracious.
Nice.
The owners and one of the vice presidents are dear friends of ours, and they let us come and use that every Sunday.
Wow.
Rosso right over here off 840 and
Yeah, I was
20, the
about to
big
say
black
that.
building
That's
right
super
here
cool.
in
Brand new building.
Murfreesboro.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's nice. I mean, you think construction building, but they've done a wonderful
It
job with it.
looks really cool.
It's a perfect space for us, and they're so generous to allow us to do that. And what
Man.
that does for us,
Yeah.
to be able to take that money and give it away, rather than have to pay rent or having to buy a
Sure.
building. And that was one of the reasons why OC was started. Is Jamie looked up and said, I got to give and we're just using some random numbers here. I give like $2 million for $1, in tithe before $1 goes out to the people because we have this huge mortgage of a church.
Yeah.
And so let's do something where we don't have mortgage at the church and we take more of our money and give it away
Beautiful.
and invest in people
Let's
and
go,
really
man.
in a tangible way, show them the love of Jesus
That's it.
and point them to the cross of Christ. And so
Yeah, man.
that's what we spend our time doing. We have
Man.
since been able to give away 41 cars this Friday. Yeah,
Wow.
in 18 months. So
Dang.
OC's been around for 3 years.
Okay.
About halfway through, we started Mechanics on a Mission. That's 18 months ago, give or take. And we've given away 41 cars. We'll give our 42nd car away this Friday.
That's at the trunk or treat.
That's the following Friday,
Okay.
the trunk or treat.
Okay.
I don't think we can do a cargo with trunk or treat because
Okay.
way too many people.
Okay.
It's going to
I
be
got you.
it's going to be controlled chaos in a beautiful way.
Yeah.
But we do normally give one away on
okay.
that.
I
But a
got
lot
you.
of times, those are a couple that we do that are a little more public. But most of the time, it's just 8 or 10 people at the
I got
place
you.
with them, loving on them, caring for them.
Man.
Really
Okay.
kind of private and just handing them the keys and changing their life, giving the life-changing gift of transportation.
Yes.
Because, well, as you know, in Nashville, public transportation is spotty at best.
Yeah.
If you don't have a car, it's almost impossible to be successful. And we're doing first cars for people who have a job, who are working hard, or they're on disability.
Sure.
That could certainly be a possibility too. And then have an organization, ministry, charity, or church that recommends them. So after we give them a car, they have someone walking with them to continue to help them be successful. Because you can give them a car, and then if no one's there to love and I need people in my life to love and support me.
100%.
So you've got to have that family around you. And so that's been really, really cool. We've helped people from Greenhouse Ministries, Safe Haven Family Shelter, One Generation Away, probably about 20 different ones, Grace Place, Oak Cottage for Women, which is where women are going into a transitional Christ Center program before they go back from jail, before they go back into society.
Beautiful.
And yeah, so it's been so cool to see the organizations we get to work with. And we're really looking for partners,
right?
People that we can serve together with and empower them to be more effective than what they could be on their own.
Absolutely.
So that's kind of why we said we were hesitant and even initially to be a church and things, because people can get a little nervous, but we're seeing just tons of organizations now coming together, working together, saying, hey, how can we know we're more impactful as the army of God together than little individual units everywhere. And so we see that happening here in Middle Tennessee. It's really beautiful.
That is beautiful.
So
what's the official mission, or can you what's the mission statement, or how, I know you covered a lot right there, but Mechanics on a Mission is, if you don't mind.
So Mechanics on a Mission is designed to help those in Middle Tennessee who are battling transportation insecurity and give them the opportunity to be successful.
Beautiful.
through the gift of transportation.
Got you. And how can people support?
So obviously everybody, and we have so many good nonprofits around here. Everyone's always saying,
Yeah,
"Hey, you
yeah.
can help me
Donate.
with
Yeah,
donate money."
yeah.
That's an obvious one. Obviously,
Right.
that's really helpful. But for us, I tell you what has been super impactful, and this has really picked up lately. If you have a vehicle, you're going to trade in and get $1,000 for, or $500 for, or not get much for. We can give you our 501(c)(3). We can give you a tax write off,
Mhm.
which you can get the Kelly Blue Book value for, and that's been super impactful. We then we take it over to one of our 12 locations that we have working with us right
Nice,
now, which
man.
is, yeah, it's pretty cool.
That is cool.
And they go through it, do a complete inspection, repair what needs to be repaired to make it safe and operable. If one of the windows isn't rolling down, we're probably not going to waste the money to fix that, but we
Sure.
want to make it safe and operable. My
Yeah.
son had his truck, and I went to go get his window fixed, and they wanted like $400. Like, son, you have a window that didn't work. We're not going to spend that. So we want to take the money and help as many
Yeah.
people as possible. So we're making the vehicles safe and operable. We don't want to give away trouble,
Sure.
because when we do, we give them my card, we give them the auto repair card. They're going to call us back. And here's what we haven't.
Yeah.
So we want to give them vehicles that are fixed and
Yeah.
run, and they're older,
Mhm.
high mileage, and there are a lot of times transition cars to tell them, hey, listen, this is going to get you about a year.
Sure.
But you need to start putting money aside now that
Yep.
you can go to work. You're not having to pay for Uber,
Yep.
or a rental car.
Yep.
Put that money aside, and let's work on getting another car. And people are really good at that. So
Gotcha.
it's really special. And besides the 41 cars, and this is kind of what everyone likes, the giving the cars away, and I do too. It's fantastic. We repaired over 200 cars at no cost, repaired for people at no cost to the recipient. So that's kind of the hidden thing that goes on all the time.
218 months is insane.
Yeah, it is absolutely insane.
That's wild.
It's a lot. I mean,
Man.
and it's expensive.
Yeah.
But
car repair is never cheap.
But
ever. Wow.
No, yeah. We all know how that goes. Yeah.
That's a little nugget right there.
Yeah.
That should be blasted everywhere as well.
Yeah.
We'll clip that up.
Yeah.
For sure. 200 cars repaired in 18 months. Like, that's something.
At places that are in it, they're
that
there,
are reputable.
Yeah,
that are going to do the right thing.
That are there to make money. They're a business.
Yeah.
And yet they're doing this on the side for us, because they believe in our mission, and they want to be a part of that life-changing gift of transportation for people. Because if we can keep people working and able to feed their kids and pay their rent, then they don't lose their housing, and they're not on the street. And we have a whole nother homeless issue. So we're trying to be intermediary and keep people from being in that next category, which is another category that we have a lot of great people helping us with, but it's a big problem. It's a big issue.
It's an epidemic.
It is.
Always. Man, that's incredible though. Definitely, again, just such a great example of what's going right. Something that's actually working. So where can people find, or like we kind of, so what are the official handles? Tell people where to go. If someone does have a car, how can they go through that process?
So if you go to mechanicsOnAmission.com or mechanicsOnAmission.org, we have both of them.
Okay.
Both go to the same place, and you can donate or volunteer.
Sweet.
We don't take referrals online because, again, we are a smaller organization.
Okay.
And if I just vetted people all day, every day from
Yeah,
request online, I wouldn't get anything done.
That's not what you need to be doing.
So what we're doing is, if someone does have a need, they can reach out to us directly, and say, hey, and we want to say, okay, what are they connected to? Who are they connected to in our area?
Sure.
What charity, what ministry, what nonprofit that will walk with them and recommend them?
Nice.
So at that point, if we can find that recommendation, then we can help them.
Gotcha.
And so that's kind of how that works. But they can go and they can donate a car. They can volunteer to join us and help us. And we're growing all of this. We don't have business cards yet for Mechanics on a Mission, because
awesome.
it exploded so much. We're doing cars. We haven't worried about all the even a Facebook page, that kind of stuff that's coming. But it's just one of those things that, what, we need to take care of the need.
If you don't need it, that's a great thing.
Well, and that's the reality is, God is meeting our needs.
Yeah.
It's not to where the point where it's overflowing. I mean, we're just the 40 cars cost about $5,000 a car, costs $200,000.
Yeah, that's
so it's a lot of money.
Mhm.
But he's meeting the need through car donations, through some donations. I would love for it to be overflowing. It's not there yet, but we were underwritten at OC for 2 years.
Okay.
And so in 23, we were not anymore. And so gracious for those people to underwrite us for 2 years to get us started. And so now we're having to, make our operational budget, but we keep our operational budget. That's taken care of by the people who attend OC. Ministry budget, anybody gets money outside, that's all given away.
Got you. That's incredible.
Yeah, it's been pretty special.
It's working, man.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. Um,
But none of this happens too. I wanna go back
yeah,
to without Tire World,
yeah,
Nelson Mazda, Christian Brothers Automotive, Sanctuary Automotive, First Chance Tire and Brake, Rosso Constructors,
yeah,
who allows us to meet
for
there
sure.
for church. I mean, because if we had to pay, that would eat into so many cars
Oh
that we
yeah,
give away. So grateful to Dylan and Callie Stevens and so many others who just said, "You know what? I see this mission, and we wanna be a part of it."
yeah,
And like I said, it would look very, very differently, uh, if we didn't have those group of people that loved and cared for us so much and said, I want to help you and your team be able to go and pour in and sow into people's lives. So
that's
by
incredible.
sowing into ours.
That's right, man. That's what it's all about. I appreciate this so much. It was just a great way to start a morning out because, yeah, just getting back into the swing of things. It's always good to have one of these conversations about stuff that's really working. That's what this whole thing it's all about. And again, this is a testament to community, a testament to the people right here in our backyard that truly do care and
Yeah.
truly do want to make a difference and truly do want to like lift people up. And like you said, without transportation, I mean, it's next to impossible to get ahead, to do the things you need to do to take care of, just life. I literally don't know. I mean, it's pretty much just me and my better half and our dog. But if I didn't have a car, there's no chance.
Yep.
I'm doing the best I can as is, but without a car, there's not a version of this. I'm running all over the place all the time. So the work y'all are doing is clearly just an awesome example of what we're all about. Anything we can ever do, please. You got all things STP in your corner, so we'll push record for you anytime you need it. So, any final thoughts? Anything you want to leave the people with?
I'm happy to give my cell phone number,
Go for it, man.
615
Mm,
533 5653. People can reach out to me
okay.
directly, if they have a question or have a need and, or wanna join and be a part. So beyond just visiting
Yeah.
the website, they can do that. And thank you for what you do.
Yeah.
There's so much on the news. There's so much good going out there that I see every day with so many people, but yet that's not what's covered.
Please
What's
keep
covered
us
on
up
the
to speed on that. We'll go push record for real. That's
Absolutely. And what you're doing is super helpful because it does give that hope for
that's right.
people because we're just being, bombarded with all the negative things that happen. And then there are bad things that are happening that we
Sure.
need to be aware of, but there's so many good things. There's so many people who want to find something that that means that is greater than themselves
Yep.
to go be a part of. And we certainly feel like OC and Mechanics on Mission is part of that. So
And what's OC one more time?
it's
Our
our church
our
ministries.
church ministries. Okay.
Yeah.
And
And
you're kind of invited.
yeah, yeah, no,
Sorry, I'm
you're
just
you're
kidding.
you're definitely invited now. We meet every Sunday morning
I'm just
we
kidding.
start at 10:15 at Rosso
Okay.
Constructors. We would
I'm gonna
love to
come see
have
you,
you.
man. I'm gonna come.
It's smaller, it's interactive,
I love that.
and it's personal. If some people, there's some really one reason we don't want to start a church because there's so many good churches in
Yeah,
this
that's
area.
true.
So how are we going to be different?
Yeah,
Well, we're only going to meet on that Sunday morning. The rest of the time, we're going to be out in the
doing it,
community.
doing the
But we
work.
do encourage you. That we have to get fed ourselves and encourage each other
Sure.
that Sunday morning. And it's just a great group of people,
Yeah,
very healthy, loving group that I look forward every Sunday morning going there. And
that's
I
awesome.
I can't always say that about church in my
Sure.
lifetime, but now I'm super excited about going and hearing from the Word of God and hearing from our OC community. And you are invited to be a
Okay,
part.
I'm
That has
sorry.
changed.
That
No,
was a
no,
joke.
I get it because that's how it was for a long time. And we're trying now to let people know, you can come. Well,
Yeah,
and it's like some people say, I want to invite people. We don't even have the address of
sure.
where we meet on any of our literature.
That's hilarious.
So we're actually getting a piece done
Okay,
right now that actually has the address.
okay,
We'll have it available on the 27th for the trunk or treat.
okay, okay.
So if people do want to come,
Got you.
our fear would be that if it's not this huge space, if we get 200 people, they'll be out in the patio and everything else
Yeah,
and have to look for a place to
yeah.
build, which we aren't saying we would never do that, but we
Right.
just know right now we're not supposed to.
That's
We're
got.
supposed to
That's
keep feeding
fair.
that money in.
Yeah,
So
I think that's a beautiful. That's just such a. That's how it should be,
yeah,
in my opinion. So I agree. That's beautiful, man. Brian Sweat, thank you for what you're doing. Thank you to the whole team behind it. And again, anything we can ever do to help, we're definitely here. So keep us posted on anything we can come through and push record for.
thank you, Trent. Really appreciate you guys. You keep up the good work.
Absolutely.
God bless.